Daybreak Africa is your one-stop top-notch breakfast show that brings you all the interesting stories happening in and around Africa.
Because we have all the morning essentials,
including the latest news, sports, weather, and events. And of course, the people.
Daybreak Africa on Television Nigerian.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
A very beautiful good morning to you, and many thanks for joining us on Daybreak Africa on Television Nigeria. My name is Elvis Oga. Good morning and welcome on the show.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Abuja. Good morning, Nigeria. My name is Mercy Joe. I hope we all slept fine. I hope you slept fine.
I did. I slept quite early last night, and I woke up quite early too.
That's good for you. Some of us can't say so. All right, Nigeria recorded 409 new cases yesterday, bringing it to a total of 13,873 in the country. Recovery is 4,351 and
382 there. I actually came across an information yesterday that a state that did not actually have much cases earlier on was said to have recorded about 9 deaths.
Wow.
And I was like, that's a big one.
Yes.
And then we've been having report of mysterious deaths from different states all over the country.
Yeah.
And what comes to my mind straight is just that fear. We'll not really call it a panic, but that fear of what was happening in some of those countries that were having highest cases, like Italy. They record the mysterious death that happened when they were having the highest number of cases. And then it just caused for serious concern when the PTF and NCDC and other authorities are saying that we've not really
got into the peak of the pandemic
in the country.
Even Imo State recorded their first death yesterday. Lagos State still always topping the chart with 201 cases, and followed by FCT, 85 new cases. These days, FCT is following in back to back with the high cases. Anyway, away from that, Obaseki confirmed to be a graduate of the University of Ibadan.
I think it will actually bring some level of relief to douse the tension that has actually been in the atmosphere concerning the Edo State governorship election.
Because the national chairman of the All Progressive Party, that's APC, in person of Oshomale, actually talked about the clarification of Obaseki's graduation and admission into the University of Ibadan. So the registrar of the university has come out to say, yes, he was a student of the school. He got admission in, what year? 1976.
And then graduated in 1979. And Nigerians are actually reacting to it from another perspective. They were asking, which course in Nigerian university actually last for 3 years.
Yeah, he earned a degree in classics, and he finished with a second class lower.
Wow. You know, ordinarily when the case was actually up for discourse or for deliberation, people were looking at it from the angle of, Obaseki and Oshomole having a face-off for some times now. Well, Oshomole came out to make some clarification sometimes, but when he was making reference to the issue of Bayelsa State, where the discrepancies in the result or certificate submitted actually made them to lose the seat. They lost the governorship election or the seat due to certificate issues. So he said, in order to forestall similar occurrences in the
They need
future,
to clarify
it's better that they get their house and their act together before they put it out. Else, you have another political party who may not really win the post, but come close, taking the position, possibly when someone is being disqualified on the ground of educational
qualifications. Okay, lawmakers from the National Assembly are saying no going back on the infectious disease bill.
Yeah.
Even the Ekiti State Governor,
who happens to be the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum.
Yes, he has faulted the infectious disease bill, saying, before the program started, we were talking about it. He has said that it's giving too much power to the NCDC
and even other officials that might probably be coming from outside the state.
Yeah, because he feels each governors are the CSO of their own state.
Security officer of the state.
So in an emergency case where they don't need to wait for NCDC, they can declare a community infectious. They can say, okay, this place should be used as our isolation center or what have you.
When we recall, if you recall when we discussed this earlier on, you actually had Victor who joined us on this review segment, and we were talking about it. And I think the intention of the bill, the aim of the bill, the objective is quite good and understanding, because
I wouldn't
we are dealing with COVID-19 now. We've actually had several infectious diseases in the past, and had it been stuff like this were on ground, we wouldn't be having maybe some of the bottleneck areas surrounding dealing with some of those infectious diseases. But
do you think
the criticism
do you think it's actually the right time for this bill to
apart from being the right time, the criticism that has actually greeted the infectious disease bill is the fact that it was more of a law that was passed during a draconian military junta in some parts of the world, that was lifted directly and being brought to Nigeria. Like you said, more references was not made to the state governors, which happen to be the CS of every state, and then it takes away so many powers being vested upon the jurisdiction of the governor or the governor's office of every state, and then giving so much power to NCDC. And then, if you recall, we actually tend to liken it to the issue of community policing, where people are saying, okay, we know what happens in Nigeria, where somebody might actually not be okay with you or your region, and then he could use his position to judge. So we need to look at some of those clauses in the bill and see how we can address them, so that it will be balanced and then have a fair share of everybody's contribution.
Yes, I think this is a law, or this is a bill that should be balanced between NCDC and the state governors.
The state governors, the security operatives that will be enforcing the law.
Exactly. I don't see it as a situation that just the NCDC should have sole power. I think Kayode was actually faulting mostly Section 8 of the bill. We were actually talking about using of any place in that state as an isolation center and what have you. Now, as far as there is a governor of a state, he as well has power to make sure anything that is going around his state. He actually should be he shouldn't just fold his arms
and then watch somebody from another
watch and also wait for NCDC to, because NCDC's their hands may be full. Because I was listening to someone this morning, he was like, it's more or less like saying there's like behind motives to all of this.
True.
The bill being passed across is not a bad idea. Like, if you go through it, if you're a very learned person, you go through it, you know that it's for the benefit of the nation.
True.
But then how are they going about it? The power that is being given to just the NCDC. Before now, what kind of power do the NCDC have that they should come now and, well, it's one thing to understand, really. Susan Archie has news for us this morning, and we want to listen to what she has for us. We know it will be juicy as usual. Let's join Susan Archie on the news desk.
There are a lot of false information about the coronavirus. These are the facts. People of all ages can be affected by the coronavirus. However, older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions such as asthma, diabetes, heart diseases are more vulnerable to the disease. It is not for old people alone. Gargling salt and warm water or chewing garlic and ginger cannot prevent the virus. Drinking alcohol, hot lemon, palm oil or chloroquine will not kill the virus. The virus cannot be transmitted through mosquito bites. Antibiotics do not work against the viruses. Antibiotics work only against bacteria. Boiling pineapple peels lime, and ginger does not kill the virus. Putting raw onions in rooms will not ward off the virus. Using or spraying Dettol, special oils, and water all over your body cannot kill the virus. There is no scientific evidence that cooking, drinking, or eating any of these is an effective treatment for coronavirus. Do not self-medicate and take responsibility by sharing only verified messages from health authorities such as NCDC, Federal Ministry of Health, and WHO.
Good morning and welcome to AM News. I am Susan Achin. The brother of George Floyd, whose killing by police sparked worldwide protests against racism, made an emotional plea to the U.S. Congress Wednesday to stop the pain and pass reforms that reduce police brutality. One day after burying his brother in Houston, Philonis Floyd appeared in person before a House hearing where he described the anguish of watching a viral video of George's death and demanded lawmakers act to fix law enforcement problems, including systemic racism. Floyd, who wore an antivirus mask bearing an image of his brother, wiped his forehead and fought back tears as he implored lawmakers to listen to the call he and protesters were making for justice. Nigeria on Wednesday, June 10, recorded 409 new coronavirus cases, taking the country's total confirmed tally to 13,873. According to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC), the new cases were spread across 15 states and the Federal Capital Territory. A tweet put out by the NCDC late on Wednesday showed that Lagos had the highest number of cases, with 201 persons testing positive for the virus within the metropolis. The tweet further revealed that 4,351 former patients have been discharged so far, while 382 deaths have been recorded. Now, the House of Representatives has passed the revised 2020 federal budget of the 10.8 trillion naira from the initial 10.5 trillion naira submitted by the President. The lawmakers also approved President Muhammadu Buhari's request for $5.5 billion external loan. Meanwhile, the Senate has hinted that it will on Thursday consider the revised 2020 budget. The Red Chamber had on Tuesday deferred presentation of the report over a delay by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, to provide details for the sum of 186 billion, an amount which is part of the 500 billion naira COVID intervention fund. However, Lawan on Wednesday disclosed that the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning had complied with the request of the Appropriations Committee by providing the relevant details for the outstanding 186 billion naira. The development, according to him, makes it expedient for the upper chamber to consider the revised 2020 budget on Thursday during plenary. Meanwhile, the public hearing on the bill to repeal the Quarantine Act and enact the Control of Infectious Diseases Act has begun in the House of Representatives. The two-day place in the conference hall of the House of Representatives, according to the Speaker, is necessary to uphold transparency and accountability in the passage of the controversial bill into law. Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila had said that the public hearing will be both physical and virtual and open to the submission of memorandum and position papers from members of the public. Similarly, the Senate is enacting critical legislation to protect victims of rape against any forms of stigmatization in the country. The bill, titled Rape and Insurgency Victim Stigmatization Prohibition Bill 2019, scaled to second reading during Wednesday's plenary session. The bill provides for the prosecution and punishment of any person or group of persons who stigmatizes such victims. Leading the debate on the bill, the sponsor of the legislation, Senator Muhammad Musa, said if passed into law, the bill will encourage victims of rape to testify in court and also ensure the reintegration of victims of insurgency into the community of their choice. And there's some good news in Crime Watch as troops at the Operation Lafia Dole have killed Boko Haram terrorists and destroyed the hideouts at Kachakole in the Sambisa Forest General Area of Borno State. The coordinator of Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, confirmed these in a statement issued on Wednesday. According to him, the operation was executed on June 10 following intelligence reports indicating that the location was being used as a staging area and meeting venue for the terrorists. In a related development, the Defense Headquarters saluted the courage and dedication of the Air Task Force working in concert with other security agencies and stakeholders towards the defeat of the criminals in the Northeast. Bauchi State's Deputy Governor, Baba Tella, has recovered from COVID-19, even as the state recorded its first health worker casualty. Tella's recovery was revealed during the state's media briefing on COVID-19 on Wednesday. The death of a renowned medical doctor, Bello Katagum, as a result of the novel coronavirus was also announced at the briefing. Katagum is the first health worker in Bauchi to die from the viral infection, the state government said. And onto the entertainment scene, Nigerian big money spender Hush Puppy is no stranger to being all over social media as his flashy lifestyle serves as goals for many people who do not care to know how he made his money. While Hush Puppy has now been in the news for a different reason after reports made rounds on social media that he was arrested by the Interpol and FBI. Although still unconfirmed, speculations are that Hush Puppy might have been arrested in relation to an unemployment claim fraud, which was meant for Native Americans during the coronavirus pandemic, and this involves people's social security numbers being used to fraudulently file unemployment claims on their behalf. It was said that the fraud ran into over $100 million and that the masterminds have been traced to having links with Nigeria. Quite an unfortunate one then. Hopefully we'll get to the root of this soonest. And that's it on AM News. I am Susan Achin.
Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, Elvis.
Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, Mercy.
Well, Hush Puppy on the news
Looking
already.
corporately hip-hop.
Yeah.
Cute, of course.
Thank you.
And I was telling you, you're doing throwback with your dresses this morning,
Yeah,
right?
vintage.
Elvis just has to make that point.
You were talking about Hush Puppy in the news for wrong reasons this
For wrong
time.
reasons this time around.
Ordinarily, I think the last time we tend to talk about Hush Puppy on some platform I was on, somebody was actually not really in support of it because he was saying what legacy is he leaving for the youth, even though his source of wealth or the kind of opulent life he's been living was not known.
Is unknown, yeah.
But ordinarily, like I would have told that line or that line this morning, but there's something somebody raised. I was actually sharing with Victor yesterday when he said Hush Puppy actually denounced his Nigerian citizenry.
Really?
He naturalized for some other country. So now that is the pendulum is swinging this way.
Yes,
I
it's
think
coming
he should be using the other nationality,
not coming this way.
Nigerian.
Exactly.
Somebody said yesterday.
Really? Okay.
But anyway, on social media is very prevalent, the fact that a lot of people throw flashy pictures of how flashy, the kind of flashy lives they live, and they admire it because everybody wants to be rich.
Yeah.
Like we say, if
Rich
we
and
don't get money,
famous.
again. So most people just, but it's not really confirmed. There are still speculations, surrounding that. There was a particular foreign news where it was said, but his name wasn't mentioned. It was actually traced to him. But if this is true, I hope that they follow it up to the last.
Yeah, we'd like to hear the last of that. Let's take this. The House of Reps passes revised 2020 budget. Like yesterday we were saying that something was missing from there.
So we actually made the Senate not to pass it
to
on
hold
Tuesday.
on
So it was revised,
Yes.
and then we hope to see the outcome
outcome
of
of
that,
that.
the approval.
I actually wanted to ask a question. Why will the Senate not pass it and the House of Reps pass it? But I think in the body of the news I saw that the Senate President actually clarified the fact
reason,
that the Budget Office and Ministry of Finance
budget, yes, there was a delay.
They brought what was missing. I think that's actually
That's what
informed
delayed
That
everything.
was what happened, yes. So they needed to have everything together, and full before they could continue.
Yeah.
So today we hear the outcome of
Yeah,
Still from the Senate, a bill that will actually take care of people who have been victims of rapes and terrorism. If you look at that bill very well, I think it shares some similarities with the hate speech bill. Because that if someone is actually a victim of rape, you should not stigmatize the person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when the hate speech bill came out, Nigeria were actually against it because they were reading more political meanings to it.
Yes.
But I think this
this is more personal. People have
so
personalized this issue of domestic violence and rape. So we're not really, most people will not look at it from this point of view.
Yeah.
But anyways, the fact that earlier on you were both talking about the infectious diseases bill, and I had some reservations which I was telling Messi about. I said, at times like this, I really do not feel that these are the times when we should hurriedly try to implement certain laws,
Yeah.
because this when something is happening at the peak of something, there are lots of sentiment.
True.
So people get very sentimental, and at that point, when you decide to pass bills and all that, you might not really be thinking as objectively as it should be.
Emotions are really
exactly
high.
emotions are on the rise,
Okay.
and all that.
Well, in as much as I know we have plenty of things to talk about, the time is running. So thank you very much, Susan. It's always
All
a
right.
pleasure
Okay.
to have you with us this morning.
All right.
Let's go to Health Desk and see what they have for us this morning.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Healthy Living. I am Lillian Ambi. Today's topic is cholera. Cholera is a bacterial disease usually spread through contaminated water. Cholera causes severe diarrhea and dehydration. Symptoms of cholera infection may include a rapid onset of copious, smelly diarrhea, vomiting, wrinkled skin, low blood pressure, and dry mouth. Diarrhea, which is the first one. Cholera-related diarrhea comes on suddenly and may quickly cause dangerous fluid loss, as much as about 1 liter an hour. Diarrhea due to cholera often has a pale, milky appearance that resembles water in which rice has been rinsed. Rice water stew. Nausea and vomiting is the second one, occurring especially in the early stage of cholera. Vomiting may persist for hours at a time. Dehydration, which is the third one. Dehydration can develop within hours after the onset of cholera symptoms, depending on how many the body fluids have been lost. Dehydration can range from mild to severe. A loss of 10% or more of total body weight indicates severe dehydration. Signs and symptoms of cholera. Dehydration include irritability, sun, keen eyes, a dry mouth, extreme thirst, dry and straight skin that slows to bounce back when pinched into a fold, little or no urine output, low blood pressure, and irregular heartbeats. Dehydration may lead to a rapid loss of minerals in your blood that maintain the balance of fluid in your body. This is called an electrolyte imbalance. Causes of cholera: contaminated water supplies, uncooked fruits, dirty vegetables, and other foods can also contain the bacteria that causes cholera. How to prevent cholera? Avoid dirty foods, cook food well, especially seafood, keep it covered, eat it hot, and peel fruits and vegetables. Drink and use safe and clean water. Use latrines, do not defecate on the ground. Wash your hands often with soap and safe water. Treatment for cholera. The main treatment for cholera is fluid and electrolyte replacement, both oral and IV. Antibiotics usually are used in severe infections in which dehydration has been occurred. Anyone who has been in a high-risk region within the previous 5 days and develops severe vomiting and diarrhea should seek urgent medical assessment. Although cholera can be life-threatening, it is easily treated by immediate rehydration, that is replacement of fluid and salt loss through diarrhea. Oral rehydration fluid is recommended. This can be obtained from pharmacies. Patients with severe dehydration or who are unable to keep oral fluid down require hospitalization and intravenous fluid replacements. Antibiotics shorten the duration of illness and lessen the severity, but they are not as important as rehydration. Thank you for watching today's episode. I still remain Lillian Ambi. Remember, not all sicknesses are being cured by medicines. Some of them just need a happy soul, happy mind, and laughter. So always be happy.
All right, welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is still Daybreak Africa here on television Nigeria. That was healthy living. So now to the other segment of the program where we'll be having the newspaper review. I'll be taking the Nigerian Tribune newspaper first. The main headline here: 99 killed in Borno, Katsina. Kidnappers kill 2, abduct others in Kogi. Police arrest man who raped 40 women in a year. That's on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Above the nameplate, Nigeria, India, Dr. Congo, home to over 33% of world's poorest. That's coming from the World Bank. You can get that on page 26 of the Nigeria Tribune newspaper. Below the picture nameplate, Governors NMA Falana kick over provisions of infectious disease bill. That's on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Beside that, Edo APC factions due over State Secretariat right INEC. That's on page 3 of the Nigerian newspaper. That'll be all for the Nigerian newspaper.
All right, now let's take a look at the Daily Sun with some interesting headlines here. As Yakubu warns politicians, no result if Ondo polls are disrupted. That is coming from INEC. APC screens Obaseki, Izeyamu, 3 others. That story can be found on the page 27 of the Daily Sun. Beside the nameplate, IPOB mobilizes against headsmen in Southeast, seeks unity of all stakeholders. That story is on the page 28 of the Daily Sun. And we also have federal government declares war on rapists, moves to domesticate violence against Persons Prohibitive Act. Why we are against infectious disease bill. That is coming from governors, and you can check out that story on the page 3 of the Daily Sun. President's aide, Fayemi trade words over performance in Ekiti. That story is on the page 29 of the Daily Sun newspaper. So you want to get the details of these stories we just shared with you and even more, pick a copy of the Daily Sun.
All right, moving to the Guardian newspaper, the main headline here says, anxiety mounts as APC panel screens Edo Guba candidate. You can get a hold on that on page 6. Above the nameplate, federal government moves against rapists, urges domestication of law in states. That's on page 3. Beside that, how chloroquine can be used to treat coronavirus by VC. That's on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. Still beside that, 81 feared killed as Boko Haram attacks Borno village. You can read more on that on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. And I'll take this last one. Governors, Labour, NMA, others tackle reps over health bill. That's on page 6. You can get that and more on the Guardian newspaper.
All right, and a quick look at the Daily Times that reveals some headlines here with cases of the stories about rape cases still dominating some of these papers. Nigerians who justify rape will be arrested. That is coming from NAPTIP. Reps pass revised 10.8 trillion naira 2020 budget. Edo Guba, APC screens Obaseki, Iziamo, and 3 others. We also have NGF, NLC, CWO. Others reject bill at public hearing as House bars journalists from public hearing. No external influence on infectious disease bill. That is coming from the Speaker of the House of Reps, Femi Gbajabiamila. Adamawa imposes curfew on 11 villages over communal conflict. And one begins to wonder, at the time when we were having so many national crises to deal with, why would some people be engaging or indulging in communal crisis or conflict? You can do well by picking a copy of the Daily Times to check out these stories and even more.
All right. The Nation newspaper, the main headline here, Edo Ondo, violence will stop results declaration, INEC wants. APC panel screens Obaseki, Izeyamu orders. That's on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. We have this interesting headline here above the nameplate. Lockdown raised rape cases, says federal government. Man rapes 40 women in Kano. Two to die for rape robbery. 45-year-old defiles toddler. That's a very sad one there. Below the picture nameplates, Boko Haram bandits kill 99 in Borno Katsina attacks. Buhari orders troops to go after terrorists. That's on page 5. Then we have the inside story. Bauchi Deputy Governor tests negative to COVID-19. Kwara discharges 18 patients. Oyo won't reopen schools now. Reps demand details of donations. Anambra records 9 deaths. You can get all of that on page 6 of the Nation newspaper.
All right, and from this day newspaper, let's take it from top to the bottom. Above the nameplate, President directs NPA to respect federal government's land lease pact with Lado. Kyari, NNPC to end oil sale discount July. That story can be found on page 5 of this day newspaper. And below the nameplate, Buhari expresses shock as death toll in Borno. Attack hits 81. Bandit murder 66 in Katsina. Attack barbaric, says Borno governor. Army vows to hunt down killers. And then the big story, or the story with the banner headline here, is talking about the Edo governorship election with the caption, Obaseki was our student, graduated in 1979, says UI. APC insists governor's sworn affidavit that claimed he graduated in 1976 still an issue. Burden of proof could favor governor, say analyst. Party screens Obaseki, Izeyamo, Ogwiwomi, Obazi, Odugo, and others. You can pick a copy of This Day newspaper to check out details of the stories and even more.
All right. Business Day newspaper. Associates rally support for additional as AFDB awaits independent investigation. That's on page 31 of the Business Day newspaper. And the main headline here, Nigeria's commitments to unify exchange rates grow as reforms beckon. That's also on page 31 of the Business Day newspaper. So,
right. That does it for the newspaper review segment. And we'll now move on to our next package, which happens to be a street cred on the full meaning of DNA. Let's get to see what the people have to say concerning that.
DNA.
Can you tell me the full meaning of DNA?
DNA.
Yes, sir.
DNA. Disaster Nigeria Agency. Or what do you mean by DNA? I don't understand.
Well, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, can you tell me the full meaning of the acronym DNA test?
What?
DNA.
DNA.
Yes, sir.
I can't tell you because my head is hot now. I'm busy. I want to go home.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Can you tell me the full meaning of DNA?
I don't know it.
You've not heard of DNA test before?
DNA. It's not company that's selling gold fertilizer. DND. No. I don't know.
What I mean, DNA.
DNA test. Whether it's for pregnancy or I don't know. Don't let me idea. I don't know it.
You can't try small?
No, I can't try. DNA test. I don't know.
Can you tell me the full meaning of that acronym? DNA.
DNA. Actually, I've been hearing of the acronym, but I've never taken my time to find the full meaning of it.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, have you heard of the word DNA?
DNA. Yes.
Can you tell me the full meaning of DNA?
Oh, I've forgotten.
You can't try small.
No, I've forgotten. Sorry.
Have you heard of the word DNA?
DNA.
Yeah, DNA.
DNA. I only know about the DNA that's related to blood, and stuff like that.
Can you tell me the full meaning of the acronym DNA?
The full meaning, I cannot tell you. Really, I don't know. Maybe I have an idea, but I've forgotten. Yeah.
So can you tell me the full meaning of the DNA?
I've forgotten.
You've not heard of it for what?
I've heard of it, but sometimes we're not just conscious to some of these things. We just know them that it's related to the blood and stuff like that, but the full meaning, sometimes we're not too conscious about it. So that's just it. It might be something that I've heard before, but because there are some other things that are in my mind as well, so I might just forget the meaning.
DNA test before?
DNA test, yes, I've heard about it.
Can you tell me the full meaning of DNA?
No, I don't know the full meaning, but I just heard about it.
You can't tell me the full meaning of DNA. Say it.
No, I don't really.
Okay, can you try? Let's see.
Yeah?
Can you try? Let's see.
I can't try because I'll fail.
District, I don't know it, sorry.
I mean DNA test, DNA test. DNA.
I don't know it.
DNA, yes, I do.
Can you tell me the full meaning of the abbreviation of?
I don't have idea. I've never done research on that.
Can I try? Give it a try, let me see.
No, I don't try what I don't know.
Have you heard of the word DNA test?
DNA, yeah.
DNA test. What is it?
Let's say it's all about testing someone for to confirm if, let's say, it's biological child or stuff.
Okay, can you tell me the full meaning of the acronym DNA?
DNA. I don't really know.
Can I give it a try?
I said I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know. No try. I don't know.
DNA. DNA. Disaster Nigeria Agency. Or what do you mean by DNA? I don't understand.
The full meaning of DNA. No, sir. I have forgotten. I can't be able to remember, sir.
Can you tell me the full meaning of the acronym DNA?
DNA text. I've heard about the word of DNA text, but I can't tell you the full meaning of DNA text.
It's a kind of test they do to know the biological the state of a person. That's DNA test. To see if okay, maybe for example, to see if the child or is the real parent of a person, or to determine the status of the person.
Can you tell me the full meaning of the acronym DNA?
I can't remember. No, I can't remember.
But DNA.
DNA. Well, it's a test now.
So what is the meaning of DNA?
To know your child, to know if it's your biological child.
Yeah, well, the acronym DNA.
The full meaning. I don't know. I just know say DNA na test.
You can't tell me the meaning. Can you try?
No, I can't try.
Don't try, let me see.
No, I don't fuck up.
Thank you, sir. DNA test before?
Yeah.
What is the full meaning of DNA?
The full meaning of DNA is just to discover the sickness that is around.
Sir?
Just to discover the problem of the health.
Sir, what is the full meaning of the acronym DNA?
I don't know. I can't say it.
Thank you, sir. Have you heard of DNA before? DNA test?
DNA?
Yeah, have you heard of it before?
Yes.
Can you tell me the full meaning of DNA, the acronym?
The ribonucleic acid.
Sir?
The ribonucleic acid.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If they say if after DNA test they discover that the child doesn't belong to you, what are you going to do?
Well, that means the child was never meant to be mine. And secondly, the mother of the said child wasn't supposed to be mine as well. So I'll take a walk.
Thank you, sir. What is the full meaning of that acronym DNA?
Nucleic acid.
Sir?
Nucleic acid.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I just want to find out something for you, small something.
What?
Have you heard of DNA test before?
DNA? Yes.
Can you tell me the full meaning of the acronym DNA?
I don't know. I don't know, please. No, I don't know the full meaning, but I've heard of it.
Can I give it a try? Let me see.
I know that DNA is when you want to know whether a child belongs to somebody, like the father. You know, women do, when they give birth, they will say, this man is a biological father of the child, which after the DNA test, will prove that the man is not the father. So, but the abbreviation, I don't know the full meaning of it. So that's all.
I can't try.
I can't try.
DNA. I don't know the meaning.
You don't know do you know DNA?
I don't know.
Don't know? So meaning, do you know the meaning of DNA?
DNA.
Yeah, the acronym DNA.
DNA.
Test, yeah.
I don't know.
But you know about DNA test?
Yeah, I know about DNA test, but I do not know what it is.
But you used to hear the name?
I used to hear the name.
Thank you, sir.
It's funny. The question is very funny.
It's not funny.
It's
not, you want to educate people.
Yes, that is the truth. We will take it common, but it's not common. I see.
Don't value them.
I'm telling you the truth. DNA, to run test of DNA every day, and you cannot get to know what is the full meaning of DNA. No, no, it's a fun event. I will take note.
You can't try small a little now.
I know, I will not.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, have you heard of the word DNA?
DNA
Test.
DNA test. I've heard of it.
Can you tell me the full meaning of the acronym DNA?
I wouldn't know.
So what about you?
I don't know.
But I heard of it before.
Yes, I heard of it before.
Sir, if nobody
about our system.
But you don't know the
system.
You don't know the meaning of the word.
Please help me, tell me.
If I know, I will not ask you, sir.
So you too, you don't know.
No, sir.
Wow. I don't know. So I know it's about body system.
Okay, thank you,
The
sir.
composition of our body system.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Auntie, good evening. How can you explain DNA?
DNA is something that transmits from, is some kind of genetic materials that transmit from parents to offspring.
You can't tell me the full meaning of DNA.
No, I don't know the full meaning. I think it's the ribonucleic acid, something like that in biology, the ribonucleic acid thereabout.
Sir, can you tell me the full meaning of DNA?
DNA. I forgot it.
Sir, can you tell me the full meaning of the acronym DNA?
What?
DNA test, DNA.
DNA.
Yeah.
The oxyribonucleic acid.
Thank you, sir.
What?
DNA test.
DNA. Yes.
Can you tell me the meaning of DNA?
DNA. I don't know the thing. I don't know, but I believe it's something that has to do with blood, genetic, or something like that.
DNA? No, that one I don't know.
You've not heard of DNA before?
Yeah, I don't have idea.
How about this? Can you tell me the full meaning?
No, I don't know.
You're coming back?
It's quite serious and at the same time hilarious. I never wanted to give the package away. That's why I had to keep my cool because I've actually seen it before. You could imagine the funny responses.
Yes,
we were actually getting.
Disaster Nigeria Agency, company selling fertilizers. But at least in the media, we still got people that actually knew the real meaning of DNA. It's just a genetic code, basically. All right, this is the much we can take on the program this morning on Daybreak Africa here on television, Nigeria. My name is Messi Joe.
And my name is Elvis Oga. Many thanks for being part of the program this morning. Why don't you join us tomorrow, same time, same place, for another interesting edition?
All right, we'll be leaving you with a package on Street Kid. How many area councils are there in Abuja? Well, before we go, there are 6, so when you listen to what the people have to say.
We have 6 area councils.
Can you name them for me?
We have Gwagulada, Kuje, Kwali, Abaji, Amak, and Bari, to be precise. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So how many area councils do you have in Abuja?
I think I'm an area council, although I might not be really sure. Because the issue is the only way I operate. So let me say I know Buhari Area Council and this is Federal Capital Territory. They are the 2 we know because those ones are very popular.
So you don't know that?
No. Even like the ties is running around within the city center. Like if you go to some place, they ask you which area council do you belong to. You find that either you operate with Federal Capital or Buhari Area Council. They are the only 2 I strongly know that I can talk about. If they have others or less, then bring that known to us.
Sir, my name is Fernand, sir.
Yeah, I'm Harry.
Sir, how long have you stayed in Abuja?
Yeah, I've stayed in Abuja for like since 1994.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many area councils do you have in Abuja here?
You have 6 area councils.
Can you mention them for me, sir?
Yeah, why not? You have Amak,
Yes, sir.
Gwagwalada,
Yes, sir.
Abaji,
Yes, sir.
Kuje.
Yes, sir.
You have Buhari.
I think on my own side, I can
boast of 5 area council in Abuja here.
Can you name them?
We have like a Kuje area council.
Okay.
We have Amak.
Okay.
We have Gwagwalada. We have I've mentioned Kuje before, and Gwagwalada, Kuje, and I think Suleja. No. I don't remember.
How long have you stayed in Abuja?
I've been in Abuja for over 7 years now.
Wow. So how many area councils do you have in Abuja?
I can't. It's kind of funny. So I have my personal account, company account.
So how many area council?
Okay. Local government in Abuja that I've visited.
How many do you have?
We have in Abuja here.
Yes, sir.
Like seriously, I don't know.
So I can't mention any.
No, like seriously, I can't. Because I'm not kind of user of going out there. Aside from my workshop, then to my house, nothing more than that.
Abaji, Kwali, Amak, about 3 others. I don't know. I've forgotten them.
Okay, you don't know if you have many, sir?
Yeah, I don't know them.
How many area councils do you have in the FCC?
Let me say like 3 or 4.
So can you name them, sir?
Amak, Kuje, and I forget the rest.
I don't know.
So how long have you stayed in Abuja?
I was born and brought up in Abuja.
That means probably stay over 20-30 years in Abuja.
Yeah.
Yes, so how many area councils do you have in Abuja?
We have, I can't give you the actual number, but I know some, like Buhari Area Council. We have Amak, we have Gwagwalada. I think that's the one I know for now. I can't go more than that.
Can I know for your name?
Comfort Samuel.
Okay. How long have you stayed in Abuja?
Close to 3 years now.
Okay. How many area councils do you have? Do you know? How many area councils do you have?
Well, I'm not too familiar, but I know I'm under Buhari Area Council, and I know of Amak. I think those are the 2 basically I know, because I'm not an indigene, so maybe over time I'll find time to research more on it.
We have like 5. Okay, we have Habaji, we have Gwagwalada, we have Kuje, we have Buhari, we have Municipal Area Council, Kwali Area Council also.
I was born in FCT.
Yes, how many area councils do you have here in FCT?
If I can recall, I think we have 6 or 7 in between that, but I can't recall the actual number, but I think it's 6, in between 6 or 7.
So can you name them?
We have Buhari Area Council, we have Amak, then we now have, I think, bro, this is tough, you know. Do we have Kuje Area Council? I think, we have Kuje. There's one that is always getting me tough, you know, like, we have Buhari Area Council. I've mentioned Buhari Area Council. I think this is where I can hook for now, honestly. It's a little bit tough.
Buhari, Gwagwalada, Amak. Okay. We have Karu. Not Karu. Sorry.
I don't know, like 4, 5. Amak, Buhari, I don't know. Yeah, thank you.